Welcome to 2024. This is the Active Travel Adventures Podcast, and I'm your host, Kit Parks. I'm excited to share with you one of our beloved annual series, the Best Travel Podcast for the upcoming year. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 30 of the best travel podcasts for you to check out in 2024. We have 18 new shows this year, so even if you've listened in the past, you're sure to find some new ones to add to your collection. I can't wait to share them with you, so let's get started. Welcome to the Active Travel Adventures Podcast. I'm your host, Kit Parks. Today, we're going to be going over the 20 best travel podcasts for you to check out in 2024. First up, in alphabetical order, is my own Active Travel Adventures podcast. I'd like to believe, and I hear from your emails, that you also agree that it is a great travel inspirational podcast that dives deep into different adventures that you can do from around the world. You learn the insights from either myself, if I've done the adventure, or a guest about what exactly is involved so that you can see if this is something you'd like to do for yourself. So number 1 on the list is the Active Travel Adventures Podcast. Number 2 is Adventure Retired. Cindy and Kurt offer travel inspiration from retirees that are rocking their post-career life. It's a fun show that can give you inspiration to make the next stage of your life your best ever. Again, that's Adventure Retired at number 2. Very, very popular, and I think it's made every single list since I've been doing this, the 4 or 5 years I've been doing this, is number 3, Amateur Traveler, with host Chris Christensen. He's been doing this show for almost 20 years, one of the earlier podcasts in the field, and it is your go-to podcast for destination information. He interviews somebody that knows the area the destination being covered intimately, so you'll know what to see, what to do, where to eat, where to stay, and so on. Again, that's Amateur Traveler at number 3. And all these are listed on the website at activetraveladventures.com. Just put in the search bar 24, so if you're driving or jogging or whatever you're doing, you don't have to write these down. You'll also get these if you get my once-a-month newsletter emailed to you with links so that you can find them easily, either from their website or directly from any podcast app. Number 4 is a personal favorite, Armchair Explorer. Aaron Miller interviews some of the world's greatest explorers and takes you on some amazing journeys. You're going to be very inspired by this very well-produced show. Again, number 4 is Armchair Explorer. Number 5, Atlas Obscura. Their goal is to inspire curiosity and wonder about this incredible world that we share. Dylan, the host, helps you discover new and hidden places. It could be in your own backyard, or it might be on the other side of the world. You'll hear the stories and the history that make these places special. So number 5 is Atlas Obscura. One that's more into the nitty-gritty is our number 6, Award Travel 101. This actually started as a Facebook group back in 2013 with membership over 100,000 people. And so it teaches you the ins and outs of using points and award miles for travel on this weekly show. So again, at number 6 is Award Travel 101. At number 7 is a new hit adventure travel show by Jason Elkins called Big World Made Small. Big World Made Small features industry experts in the adventure travel field, from podcasters such as myself. In fact, he recently interviewed me, and I encourage you to take a listen to it. It was a lot of fun. It was a very wide-ranging interview where we talked about all things adventure travel and travel in particular, and shared our fun stories. He'll be interviewing tour operators, guides, adventure travel experts, helping them share their fascinating stories with all the rest of us. It's all adventure travel, and I encourage you to check out our number 7, the Big World Made Small podcast. Coming up at number 8, formerly known as Alpaca My Bags, is Curious Tourism. Aaron actually wrote me and asked me to check it out, and man, it's a cute little show. The topics include dark tourism, sustainable travel, voluntourism, travel privilege, and what it means to travel authentically, and so much more. You'll get the tools and the information you need to travel the world in a more mindful manner. Again, number 8 is Curious Tourism. Another how-to travel podcast is number 9, Flying Smarter. On this show, you'll get helpful tips on how to navigate the often confusing world of air travel. You'll get an inside understanding of how the airlines and the airports work. So this will be particularly helpful when something goes wrong. You'll have a better idea of what to do to get things to go your way. So again, at number 9 is Flying Smarter. Another new one to the list is number 10, Inspire Campfire. Host Scott interviews interesting but regular people about their extraordinary travel stories of adventure. He wants these stories to inspire the rest of us to light that fire within, get outside, follow our dreams, and return to tell our own stories. I've also been on Scott's program, and you can hear the backstory of how I got into adventure travel and what was the instigation for me to start this podcast on our number 10, Inspire Campfire. Returning to the list is number 11, Jump. Jump podcasts with host Traveling Jackie and offers a mix of guest stories along with her own solo episodes. And they're often raw and personal accounts with Jackie. On this show, you'll explore travel, adventure, and lifestyle in ways that are meant to motivate you to get out and see the world. At number 11 again is Jump Podcast. Another new one to the list is number 12, Live Ultralight Podcast. This is a show for hikers and backpackers, something that is beloved to me as a big hiker, and I know I covered a lot on my show. And this show, hosted by Outdoor Vitals, so it's naturally somewhat gear-centered. It features adventurous guests and their stories, plus, of course, gives you some gear guidance. That's the Live Ultralight Podcast at number 12. Another how-to is number 13, also new in the list, Miles to Go. This show is hosted by road warrior and traveler expert Ed Pizza, and the show serves up travel tips, news, and reviews for travel newbies and road warriors alike. Travel experts share their knowledge and insights with you on number 13, Miles to Go. A show introduced to me by Cheryl is number 14, National Park Explorer. On this show, you can grab a quick bite-sized introduction to the U.S. national parks. Each brief episode gives you a glance at what you'll see there, what you can do, where you can stay at a particular park, so you'll have a snapshot view of the wonderful national parks of the United States. Again, at number 14 is National Park Explorer. At number 15, another news program, Out of Office. You're going to get travel advice from seasoned travelers and the hosts Ryan and Kiernan, but they have a different take. Ryan is the big city guy, while his friend Kiernan prefers the outdoors. So you'll hear both perspectives, from silly to practical, local and international, in this friendly exchange. Again, at number 15 is Out of Office. Another recommended podcast came in to me from Becky. At number 16 is Soul of Travel. This is a partnership with Journeywoman. On this woman-focused show, you learn tips and tricks to make sustainable travel easy, how to best travel the world, and learn about the types of travel experiences you can have that will improve your mental health and spiritual well-being. That's Soul of Travel at number 16. Another recommendation from Cheryl is the very popular 10 Adventures podcast, where Richard interviews outdoor enthusiasts about their adventures and the impact on their lives. You'll learn all about hiking and mountaineering, backpacking, trekking, cycling, through hiking, skiing, and many more adventures. You'll hear how the outdoors impacts your physical health, mental health, and your happiness. Number 17 is the 10 Adventures podcast. I should note, when you're trying to type that into search instead of using my link, don't put a space between 10 and Adventures. It doesn't pop up. At number 18, another new one, the Know Before You Go travel show. This industry insider show from Penyak Travel Company gives you insights into cruises, both regular and all-inclusive resorts, Disneyland, and more destinations and packages. On this show, you'll get insights from a travel industry expert. Again, at number 18, the Know Before You Go travel show. Now we're going to veer into some solo territory. Two very similar sounding names, also new in the list. Number 19, Solo Travel Adventures with Cheryl Ish. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cheryl, if you're listening. This show focuses on women over 50, trying to help these women get confidence to explore the world on their own. You'll get tips on how to prepare, how to stay safe, and how to enjoy your solo adventure. Again, that's number 19, Solo Travel Adventures with Cheryl Ish. A similar sounding podcast, but slightly different name, is our number 20, the Solo Travel Woman podcast. Here, Sarah, who is a world traveler and solo travel coach, empowers women to embrace the unknown and travel on their own terms. It's a mix of guest interviews and solo episodes where they chat about solo travel safety, explore beautiful destinations and cultures. Sometimes they'll talk about the life being a digital nomad, how to combat solo travel guilt, and so much more. Again, at number 20, the Solo Travel Woman podcast. A recurring podcast on many of the lists, maybe even all of them, is number 21, the Thoughtful Travel podcast by Amanda Kendall. On each show, Amanda will explore a specific travel topic with 3 guests who will then give their insights and stories about the particular topic. It's short, helpful, and insightful. At number 21, the Thoughtful Travel podcast. At number 22 is the award-winning Travel Diaries with host Holly Rubenstein out of the UK. Each episode, Holly interviews a major traveler about the 7 travel chapters in their life which has made them who they are today. Again, at number 22, the Travel Diaries. Number 23, Travel Tales by Afar. This is an eclectic show that does a deep dive on unusual travel experiences that may have shaped the guest's life. Or it might just have a theme, such as how to eat your way along France's finest food trail. It's a great show. At number 23, Travel Tales by Afar. At number 24 is Travel Tales by Mike Siegel. Comedian Mike interviews his guests and fellow travelers about the hits and misses of their journeys around the world. This lighthearted show will entertain you and inspire your wanderlust as you listen in on the two reminiscing about favorite travel stories. So number 24 is Travel Tales by Mike Siegel. At number 25, Travel That Matters. Host Bruce Whalen invites you into a little-known world of luxury travel innovators, world-renowned journalists, connoisseurs, and cutting-edge creatives who offer insider travel knowledge. You'll discover secret getaways and one-of-a-kind travel experiences on our number 25, Travel That Matters. At number 6 is one of my favorites, Unfolding Maps, which gives you truly compelling and thought-provoking travel stories, from living with Sami reindeer herders to exploring the history and the troubles of the Congo. The host, Eric, showcases these stories of adventurers, travel writers, and photographers about their incredible and often life-changing adventures. Again, at number 26 is Unfolding Maps. At number 27 is We Travel There, where host Lee Huffman interviews locals to give you the inside scoop of what to see and do at each featured destination so you can travel like a local. At number 27 again is We Travel There. Another new one on the list is number 28, What No One Tells You, by world travelers Chris and Sarah, who host a fun conversational podcast with guests sharing their personal experiences, insider tips, and stories of their travels. Again, at number 28 is What No One Tells You. Get near the end here. At number 29, another new one, Whiskey and a Map, where host Michael J. Reinhardt interviews fellow adventurers to hear their amazing stories and tales from the road. This is sure to spark wanderlust. Again, at number 29 is Whiskey and a Map. And last is one of my favorites, Jason at Zero to Travel. He's very gregarious. He's probably one of the main reasons that I got the idea to just travel full time like I have for the last 3 years, although I've now settled back down. But it was just, I was like, oh, these people are doing it. Why can't I do it? And so it planted the bug. So I have many, many thanks to Jason. Also, I give him credit for actually helping spur me to get this podcast recorded at the first time when he interviewed me about how to travel Alaska inexpensively. And I just quietly squeaked out that, I'm going to start a podcast. Do you mind waiting until I start my podcast before you release it? And he very generously did. Now I had a deadline, so I couldn't put it off anymore. And that got me to get off my butt and finally record my first episode back in fall of 2017. So not only is it a great and inspirational podcast teaching you how to travel inexpensively, how to be a digital nomad, but it's a fun podcast that I'm sure you'll enjoy. I believe it is one of the top podcasts in the world, if I'm not mistaken. It's certainly probably the most popular travel podcast, period. So again, that's Zero to Travel with Jason Moore. Encourage you to check it out. And I'm going to give you a bonus one. I often forget to mention that I have a companion podcast called The Adventure Travel Show. And the purpose of that show is to give you the how-tos on how to do adventure travel, which of course is the focus of my show and of many of the shows that are on this list. So if you're unsure about how do you pack a backpack, what kind of the checklist of what to pack for these different types of adventures, how to train, and it's about 30 some odd episodes, like a capsule podcast of the basic skills you need to feel confident going out on an adventure. So I encourage you to check out my companion podcast, The Adventure Travel Show, and see if there might be some skills that you can brush up on or learn and maybe go out on a new adventure you hadn't considered before. I will give you a quick rundown of the 30 podcasts again, and a reminder too that you can find all of these at activetraveladventures.com in a list form, and in the monthly newsletter you will get it with working links so that it's easy for you to find them, check out their websites, and subscribe. I'm going to run through these real fast now. 1. Active Travel Adventures. 2. Adventure Retired. 3. Amateur Traveler. 4. Armchair Explorer. 5. Atlas Obscura. 6. Award Travel 101. 7. Big World Made Small. 8. Curious Tourism. 9. Flying Smarter. 10. Inspire Campfire. 11. Jump. 12. Live Ultralight Podcast. 13. Miles to Go. 14. National Park Explorer. 15. Out of Office. 16. Soul of Travel. 17. 10 Adventures Podcast. 18. The Know Before You Go Travel Show. 19. Solo Travel Adventures with Cheryl Ish. 20. The Solo Travel Woman Podcast. 21. The Thoughtful Travel Podcast. 22. The Travel Diaries. 23. Travel Tales by Afar. 24. Travel Tales by Mike Siegel. 25. Travel That Matters. 26. Unfolding Maps. 27. We Travel There. 28. What No One Tells You. 29. Whiskey and a Map. 30. Zero to Travel. And the bonus Adventure Travel Show podcast. I hope you'll find some new and intriguing podcasts from this year's list. Did I miss one of your favorites? If I did, let me know. You can always reach me at kit@activetraveladventures.com. I love hearing from you. I like to hear not only the travel podcasts you love to listen to, but where you're going to go this year. Let me know. Thank you for listening. Until next time, this is Kit Parks. Adventure on!